Hi, my name's Rock Santos, co-founder of Q Swimwear, and I am a swimmer. We've created a swim brand by swimmers, for all swimmers. Even you, Sally Save-Up. Yeah, you know who you are. Sit in the back of the practice, all practice long, till the last one on the last set. When you swim by all of us, post the fastest time of the day and get all the coaches' attention. Q Swimwear, a brand for all swimmers. Even you, Sally Save-Up.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Monday, January 24th, 2011. I'm your host, Peter Bush. In the Phoenix Monitor today, we'll talk to Peter Varellas. He's one of the top goal scorers on the U.S. men's water polo team. Peter joins us right now in the Phoenix Monitor from Palo Alto, California, where he's back living and training. Hey, Peter, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me, Peter.
Good to be back in the States after living over in Italy?
Yeah, it's been a nice change of pace. I had an incredible experience over there. I lived in Italy for 4 years. Really lucky to get on with a great team there, and but it was time for me to come back and kind of focus on just training here domestically for these next 2 years, year and a half.
So, will you ever go back, or are you here to stay?
My plans are to be here permanently now. I think living abroad, especially with my with my kind of relationship status, was kind of a tough long distance one for me. So it was time to come back. I had a great opportunity here to help out with the coaching staff here at Stanford, and it's worked out really well. It's a great place to train, and I'm getting all I can out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're engaged to a former Stanford swimmer, correct?
Yeah, we met here in undergrad, and like I said, been kind of doing some long distance for a while, but we've made it through, and wedding's planned for this coming May, so pretty excited about that.
Very cool. Busy next couple years for you.
Yeah.
What is it? Can you describe what the atmosphere is like for a water polo game in Europe and Italy?
It's pretty neat because you have generally a smaller city where everybody knows about the sport. They know the rules. They are more familiar with it. In Italy, you have obviously soccer is sort of king. Basketball, volleyball are pretty popular, but then really right after that you have water polo. And so nationally as a sport, it's a big deal over there. And you have people, everybody in the city I lived in, which was called Savona in northwestern Italy, everyone was at the game or read about it in the paper or saw it on TV, and everyone's talking about it, and they know who you are, that you play, and it's really fun to be around in an atmosphere where everybody follows it, knows the rules, and is really knowledgeable about it.
Well, that part must be tough to leave.
Yeah, it's hard. It's things are just different here, and in California, water polo is fairly well known, and nationally, considerably less, and that's actually part of what we're trying to change over the long run, is really make it a coast-to-coast sport instead of primarily California. There's areas that are spreading into Chicago and Florida, and that's great to see. But we really want to make it more of a national sport.
I was going to say, do you ever think there will be a pro league in the U.S. for water polo?
There's been some tentative sort of attempts or thoughts and business plans put together. I think the biggest barrier is money right now, and so you need to attract the kind of sponsors that would be able to put up enough money to make everything work, and that might mean having television contracts and getting it on TV. Right now, I think the sport isn't very super well adapted to being on TV based on the viewing angles, reflection on the water, things like that, and it also, you need a more knowledgeable public of the game to be able to watch a game on TV and actually enjoy it.
So how do you generate interest outside of California, where you've got all the high school teams and the only college teams that really make it to the Final Four? I mean, how do you make sure it's popular in cities where right now it's not?
Well, I think part of it is getting sort of the image of the sport out there and letting people take a look at it. And actually, we were happy to be able to do that to some extent in 2008. With our success in Beijing, they ended up, NBC broadcasted a lot of our games, especially the bigger ones towards the end. So that was good on a national level. We also do a little bit of touring around. Sometimes that means just coming up here to Northern California to play an exhibition game. We've also had, in the past, there's been a World League Super Final held in New York. We've also done some clinics nationwide. 2 years ago, one in particular we did in Atlanta. There's been an event in Michigan, if I recall correctly. Some guys do their own clinics. Every winter, there's Tony Azevedo, our captain, holds a big clinic out in Florida. So there's some opportunities for us to tour around a little bit. One of our problems with that is that we are so spread out during the sort of academic year with playing in our professional seasons, often in Europe. And summer for us is such a busy training time. So it is hard to carve out the time to get around to different populations, but we're doing the best that we can on that.
I've read that you're a catch and shoot specialist.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to be a left-hander, and just like in a lot of sports, that's a bit of a rarity. And in water polo, that means that I can play on one side of the pool a little bit easier based on shooting angles. Catch and shoot has been kind of one of the things that I developed early, and it's helpful when it comes to beating a goalie. You really, an offense tries to move the goalie around as much as possible, make him work hard, and sometimes you can beat him with a quick shot.
Now, what is it that makes you a great catch and shoot specialist? I mean, do you have bigger hands than normal? Do you just have, is there some sort of, training or, things that you can do, repetitive training to?
Yeah, I think my hands aren't especially big, so that's not necessarily a prerequisite. I think, having good hands, and what I mean by that is just being able to control the ball on the first touch every time. And then just sort of quickness, a little bit of quick twitch muscles, knowing where the cage is, what the shooting angles are looking like before you even receive the ball. Those are all sort of things that become really important.
Now I hear that your goalie, Merrill Moses, lost his medal.
Yeah, really, really bummer of a story. He was in Jamaica, so he's playing in Italy this year. For the holidays he flew to Jamaica with his girlfriend, brought both their parents out as a surprise. He proposed to this girl, and really celebratory mood. And a day later, they get a call about the break-in at their house. So really, kind of put a damper on that trip. It's been nice that it's been sort of publicized a little bit. Hopefully, people can be on the lookout for anything that comes across their any websites or comes across their field of view. If you end up seeing a medal out there, it's stolen, and so we can kind of report those things.
Do you keep yours, in a lock safe, or especially, safe away?
I don't keep laying around the house. I'll tell you that. Mine's in a safety deposit box in the bank, and that way I feel good about it, and I can still pull it out of there when I need it, if I want to show it around a little bit. So.
All right, Peter, before we let you go, Got to ask you about this calendar.
Sure.
Now that you're a pinup guy,
yeah,
for men's water polo, what's the, was this like a fundraiser, or was this your idea? Like, hey, I want to be on the calendar.
It was a fundraiser. We, we're given a certain operating budget by the Olympic Committee, the USOC, but we also really need to supplement that heavily by doing a lot of fundraising. And this was an idea that came up this last year. We did a big photo shoot last summer, finally put the calendar together around November, and it's on sale. You can still get it on usawaterpolo.org. It's on amazon.com, calendars.com. There's a few calendar stores that pop up this time of year around different malls. They sell them there. They sell them on Barnes & Noble and on different college campuses across the country. And that was kind of a fun thing. I think so far it's been doing pretty well selling. Costs like $16, I think, and kind of for us, it was a little bit of a different experience. We're not used to putting on makeup very often, so.
It's the aquatics version of the firefighter guys, standing next to the truck.
If you search for it, that's one of the other things that pops up. It's like related items. You get the firefighters and stuff like that. So. I'm
trying to envision. First of all, do you get to pick the photo, or I'm trying to envision, all you guys standing around after the photo shoot, going through the, on the laptop, just looking through, be like, let's throw out that one.
We each spent probably about 20 minutes doing various shoots and different poses, and then the photographer kind of chose what he wanted, put together something that resembled what you now see on the page, and then sort of presented it to us, sort of wanting our approval. And so it wasn't so much we got to choose the pictures. If we really had any issues with what was on there, then, you know, there could be changes made, but they kind of made those decisions for us. But it's a pretty important part of our training, you know, this fundraising stuff. We really have to raise these funds that directly affect how we're able to train for both World Championships this summer and the Olympic Games in a year and a half. So really important kind of initiative for us.
Well, all for a good cause then. Peter, thanks a lot for joining us. Good luck over the next couple of years.
Thank you very much, Peter.
All right, that's Peter Varellas joining us from Palo Alto, California. That's it for today's show. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish.